Hello, good evening. Right, let's just check we're live in the right place first. Yep, looks like we are, that's good. Okay, let's just... There we are. There we go. Right, brilliant, fantastic. Okay, so if you're watching the replay on YouTube, then welcome. This is going to be a live recording of my monthly card club, which this month we're going to be making 4 projects, and you can make straight along at home because all you're going to need is 2 sheets of coloured A4 cardstock, some white cardstock, and a pack of designer series patterned paper. You won't need the whole pack, you're just going to need a few sheets. One of the main things that you're going to need is you're going to need a sheet of, half a sheet of that 12 by 12, which has a horizontal pattern on it, and that will become kind of clear and obvious as to why as we go along. So if you're watching on the replay, that's what you're going to need. So we'll just hang on a few minutes while people start to join us, and then we can get crafting. Let's just have a quick slurp of my water. I hope the weather's okay where you are as well. It's been snowing a little bit here this week. Just a few wintry flurries, so not too bad. But yeah. Oh, hi Julie. Hi. There we go. We've got a few people joining now. This is wonderful. Okie dokie. So if you're joining and you're going to be crafting live tonight, then do let me know in the comments. Say hi in the comments and let me know that you're going to be crafting along. That'd be really good. Can see the numbers going up, and I've just snagged my fingernail, so that was helpful. Yeah, so if you're joining live and you're crafting along, then do say hi in the comments and let me know. That would be wonderful. And we'll just wait a few more minutes while people are kind of getting their stuff together. So yeah, if you're going to be crafting along with me tonight, like I was saying before, you're going to need some patterned papers. And at least one of those pieces of patterned paper will need to measure 6 inches by 12 inches, so half a sheet of 12 by 12. But the important bit about that piece of paper is it either needs to have a non-directional pattern on it, or it needs to have a horizontal directional pattern on it, which will make perfect sense in a moment. I'll show you the inside of the card that we're going to be making. The reason you need horizontal patterned paper is we're going to be making this inside. Okay, so this is, ooh, there's the front of the card, and we're going to be making this lovely concertina in the middle. So as you can see, it would be no good if your pattern is going that way. You need your pattern to be horizontal. So that's one of the things you need. So you need some patterned papers. You're also going to need coordinating cardstock. So 2 sheets of A4 cardstock. Hi Liz. And you're going to need a little bit of white as well. Not loads of white, but just a little bit. And then obviously you'll need whatever you're going to use to decorate as well, the front. But you don't need too much decoration actually for these. These cards are very much to show off the papers that you've chosen. So yeah, so if you're crafting tonight, let me know that you're crafting in the comments. And if you're, I presume in everybody's Christmas crafting, but if you're not Christmas crafting, then let me know. I'm going to be Christmas crafting. And just like everybody else, I'm going to be using up some of the papers that I've got left over from previous card clubs. So this is my pack. I'm going to be using the Peaceful Garden, I think it's called, so these are my leftover papers. Hi Mum. Grandma says hello, Evelyn. Hello. She's here, she's on the other side of the table. You can say hi in a moment when we go down. Yeah, so I'm going to be using the Peaceful Garden. I've made my sample cards in the beautiful traditional Christmas. And Evelyn's going to be using Traditional Christmas as well. So let me know what you're making with. I'd love to know what everybody else is up to, and what you're going to be using. We had the, I can't remember what the papers are called, but somebody else used this one this morning. Is it called Peaceful Pines or something like that? Anyway, I had somebody use that as well this morning, so that was really nice. And then somebody else used the Modern Christmas, which was the black and white that we used last month. So yeah, real variety of different ones. This works with any paper. These designs you can very easily turn into birthday cards or other greetings cards as well. Don't have to be Christmas, so that's good. Okay, so a couple of little bits of notices before we get started while people are fishing out all their bits of kit and getting sorted. Hi Jodie, lovely you can join us. So what news have I got for you? So we've got tonight's card class, which you can watch on the replay. If you're watching on replay, you can pause, rewind, remeasure things, recut things and what have you and move on. And obviously if you're watching live and you don't get everything finished or you want to remake something again, Liz is saying she's going to make with boughs of holly. Ooh, nice, that sounds good. I want to see your photos then, definitely after. And Julie's just watching and going to craft tomorrow. Yeah, lovely. So yeah, if you are watching tonight, you want to remake, you'll need to go to YouTube because Facebook won't let me hold on to the videos anymore. It doesn't save them for very long. So you'll need to go to my YouTube channel, Papercraft with Jenny, and all of the past classes that we've been doing, all the monthly card clubs, everything is on YouTube. So you can re-watch at any time that you want to and remake things with the measurements and everything. It's all on there for you. So that's great. So that's tonight. After tonight, we've only got one more workshop until Christmas, amazingly. And it's going to be Thursday, the 11th of December. It's online only, in the evening only. It will be 7 p.m. And it's going to be our Christmas party. So we have one of these every year, loads of fun, free of charge to anybody in the UK that I can post a kit to. Anywhere else in the world, you can watch free of charge. You just won't be able to join in the prize draws and things. There will be mystery stamping. There will be a little project to make that I will post you if you're in the UK. There will be sweet treats in your kits to keep you crafting. There will be bingo with prizes, all the usual bits and pieces. So loads of reason to join in. So there's an email set up to go out to everyone on the mailing list tomorrow. That is simply asking you, would you like to join in? If you would, reply to me with your postal address and your email address so that I can email you the instructions for mystery stamping, but also so that I can post you your little thank you kit and your kit of products that you'll need as well. You will also need some bits and pieces from your own stash for the mystery stamping, because I won't be supplying what you'll need for that, because the whole fun of mystery stamping is that everyone's card turns out slightly different, even though we all follow the same formula. So so that will be Thursday the 11th of December in the evening, 7 o'clock, probably on Facebook, unless we get very kind of local numbers, in which case I might do a Zoom instead. We'll see how we go. And that means we can all chat to each other, which might be a bit more fun. Okay, so that is the last one of the year, and then we're into January. I've literally just ordered the products for the first workshop in January. We're going to be making some beautiful die cut flowers where you kind of build a building up flower kind of thing. That makes sense. Anyway, it's a flower that we're going to build up on the front of the card, and we're also going to be doing some blending to the petals and everything. It's really lovely. We haven't done a 3D flower for a very long time, so I thought it'd be really nice to do something like that. So that's good. But in other Stampin' Up news, if you were thinking either after tonight or over the weekend you'd like to place an order, then please, please, please don't place an order. I know, what a wild thing to say, eh? Don't place an order until after 11 p.m. on Monday night, because next week is Black Friday, and for the first time ever, Stampin' Up! Are doing a Black Friday deal. So there is up to 40% off, and it includes tools, it includes stamping blends, it includes adhesives. They never do a sale on adhesives, and loads of other goodies. Okay, so from 11 p.m. on Monday night for a whole week, or until they sell out of things, obviously, we are having a Black Friday sale, and it will be up to 40% off. So really worth having a look and seeing what's on there. I know there was a few people this morning that said things like they were in need of replacing their plates for their cut and emboss machine, or they wanted blades for their trimmer, or they wanted a new trimmer, or things like that. Well, now's the time to get it, because tools are included, which is amazing, because they very rarely are. So that's really good, really exciting. Okay, so I think that's probably all the news that I have for you for now. So let's get crafting, shall we? So what we're going to do is I'm going to turn the camera around. You can have a quick wave to Evelyn on the way by, and then we'll have a look at the projects. So there she is. Okie dokie. Right, I need to turn some, let's get some lights on first off. There we go. Okay. And let me get my grid paper and everything in the right place as well. Let's get my trimmer out of the way for the time being. Okay. Let's get the grid paper in the middle, that would be helpful too. Okay, so the first thing to say is that in the email that you will have been sent if you're on the mailing list, you will have this attachment in a link in the email. And this is the measurements that you will need if you want to replicate what we're going to be making tonight. Okay, so we've got 4 cards, you've got basic supplies at the top, and you've got some measurements on there as well. So this is what I'm going to be working to. So if you happen to have printed this off, then that's amazing. You'll be able to work with that. But if not, there's a clickable link in the email, and you can just download it and print it. So that will be absolutely fine. So we're going to make 4 projects tonight. This is the first one. This is a really simple card, and it uses 4 different squares of patterned paper, and then a whole layer of embellishments and things on the top. I think they call this the window pane card, actually, because you've got like the segmented kind of window pane here. 2 different kinds of patterned paper. So this one's obviously the same pattern, that one's the same pattern. And then a little extra strip on the inside as well. Now, my video has decided to stop working. So, oh no, it's not. No, it is moving. I think we might be okay. It's just, I suspect it's probably the weather tonight is not going to be in our favour, but hopefully, Evelyn, you're not on the internet, are you? 1. Card number 2 is a Dutch door. So a Dutch door is where we've chopped a bit off, as you can see. So that's card number 2. Card number 3 is this lovely concertina card in the middle here. So we've got a fairly easy front cover, and then we've got the concertina in the middle. And then finally we've got card 4, which is a really clever, looks like you ought to open it up that way, but we don't, because we pop it into a square and it stands up like that on its own. So that one is card number 4. And those of you who are really astute and really have good observation skills will have noticed that each of the cards, I'm going to turn it over, is a lengthways piece of A4 cut in half, And so all the card bases are identical, even though we've got 4 very different cards, and also they're all fancy folds of one description or another. They actually are all made using exactly the same card base. So the first thing we're going to do is cut our card bases, because all we need to do is cut 4 identical card bases. So that's what we're going to start with. So let's put that to one side. So you need your trimmer with your scoring blade and your cutting blade. And you need 2 sheets of A4 coloured cardstock. Okay, so I'm going to be using Secret Sea, which is one of the in colours, but you can use whatever matches with your and coordinates with your pattern papers. And we're going to start by putting the long side in the top of the trimmer, and then we're going to put this left hand edge up to the 14.9 centimetre mark. So you're scoring this piece of A4 card in half on the long side. Okay, so 14.9 centimetres, and you've got that instruction and that measurement on the top of the measurement sheet here. The first thing it says is that all of your card bases are made from a half a sheet of A4 and scored at 14.9. Okay, so that's easy. So I'm going to do the same with the second piece. Put it in at 14.9. At the top here, and that's both your cards scored. And then I'm going to turn it around so the short side is at the top and cut it into 2 cards. So just literally cutting that sheet of A4 in half and cutting at 10.5. Hi Sally, Sally's watching. Sally did come this morning and is going to make some more, I think, aren't you, at some point? So we're cutting both sheets of A4 at 10.5 centimetres, and that will then give you 4 identical card bases with the fold in the centre. Really easy. So let's take them one at a time. The first one is really simple. We're just folding it in half and then going to make sure that edges are joined up, crease the fold. That's the first one. Really simple, really easy. And then what you'll need is, again, if you're following on the measurement sheet, you need 4 panels of 2 designs of patterned paper, and each panel measures 7 centimetres by 4.9 centimetres. So just need to rummage through your patterned papers and find 2 designs that you would like to use that will coordinate. So let me have a rummage and see what I've got. That one I'm going to save for later. So I might use that one, I think. Let's have a look. In fact, I might use that one because that's more of a scrap. And I might use that one actually. So I've got a real contrast, I think. Let's get those other bits out of the way. So I need my 4 panels to measure 7 centimetres by 4.9 centimetres. So let's go with cutting the 7 centimetre pieces first. Oh, Evelyn, I didn't get a bin out. That was a bit silly, wasn't it? By 4.9. And I apologise now that some of these measurements, in fact, I'm going to just chop a bit off the bottom so that I get those doves a bit more centrally. Some of my measurements are going to be in centimetres tonight, and some of my measurements are going to be in inches, so I apologise if you prefer one over the other. I'm afraid I have got a mixture, sorry about that.
How many panels do we need?
So you need 4 panels, and each panel measures 7 centimetres by 4.9 centimetres. So 7 by 4.9. This card is really easy to make multiples of as well, because obviously you could actually cut the panels of paper. You could make multiple card bases just like I've done, and then you could also cut multiple squares as well. And then the other thing that you're going to need is a little strip to go on the inside on top of your white layer. I would suggest your strip is a roughly 2 centimetres, but you don't have to be precise with that strip, because these cards, a lot of them are about using up some of the scraps that you've got. So if you happen to have a strip already cut and it's 1.5 centimetres or 2.5 centimetres, then that's absolutely fine. It doesn't have to be precise. And then the other thing you're going to need is a white layer to write on inside. So let me just grab a white layer. And so your white layer is our standard first layer size. So that will be 14.3 centimetres by 9.9 centimetres. And that will be your inside layer. Okay, and then that's it, you've got all your cutting done. So then you can start to kind of build everything up. So your inside layer is going to have a little strip across the bottom, and mine's a bit too long, so I'll just glue that down and cut it off in a moment. And then my card panel, I need to make sure that I've got the fold on the left hand side, and I'm going to lay my panels on top so that it creates this kind of window pane effect. So I want to have a little bit of a border around the outside, but I also want to have a little bit of a border between the panels of pattern paper as well. And that's where it's good to kind of lay it out before you stick them down, so that you can work out how much space you want between them, and then you can just like lift one up at a time and stick them down. So that is roughly what I'm going for. And you can use any kind of adhesive for this, doesn't matter, whatever your go-to is. So I should probably use a bit of Stampin' Seal on these. Oop. So I'm just going to trim that bit off. That extra little edge. So that's my inside layer. And then these panels, I'm just going to lift them off one at a time so that I make sure that I get them back in the right place when I put them back down again. And then as you're doing this, you can be thinking about what you might want to have for the centre of your window pane. What focal point might you want for this card? There we go, really simple. And then let's pop the white layer in the inside. again, make sure there's that little border around the outside. And there's your layer to write on inside. So like I say, your next question is, what are you going to have as your layer? So let's go back to my original card. So I've got quite a strong centerpiece of a piece of the Designer Series pattern paper that was one of the layers of flowers that I've cut out. I don't know if you can see if I tip it on the side, but I've mounted that centerpiece on 3D pads. And then I've poked behind some holly leaves, some gold spray. I've got lots of little bits of bling, and I've got my sentiment straight through the centre there as well. So what I'm looking for this one is something similar, like a fairly large focal point to go in the middle of the window pane. So I'm going to go to my bag of bits from when we did this workshop and delve around and see what I've got left over that I didn't use. I know that I've got some doves in here, so I'll probably use a dove or two. I've got some ribbon I could use. Oh, I've got a white label, that might work. That might have my sentiment on it, and I might have a dove coming off of there maybe. I think, I know what I'm going to do. I think I might use some of this beautiful sparkly card. Or shall I have the ribbon? Oh no, maybe I'll have some ribbon instead actually. Perhaps I'll have some ribbon behind. It is rather beautiful ribbon. Let's just lay it out and see what it might look like. So I might have some ribbon behind. And then my sentiment in the middle. And my dove. Maybe that just needs something else as well, I think. Perhaps it does still need a bit of... Perhaps it needs a bit of sparkly behind it, or a bit of sparkly somewhere I think it needs. Right, let's see what I can do with that. Let's chop this ribbon up so it's a bit easier to manage. I'm pretty sure in this bag I've also got some bling somewhere as well, so I'll add a couple of bits of that as well in a minute. Right, okay, let's have a look then. So I think the first thing that I'm going to do... Oh, what happened to that bit of... A bit of sparkly card here just now, and it's just disappeared. There it is. What I'll do is I will cut that piece of sparkly card, and I'm going to stick that to the back of the sentiment label, I think. Just literally going to cut off the scruffy edge. I'm not going to do anything too taxing with that. And then I can stick that to the back of my label. It's not quite long enough, so because it's going on the back of my label, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to chop it and make it a bit longer. Look, that's better. I'm happier with that. So that's what I'm going to do to start with. I'm going to stick this on the back of my label, so it will stay put. Do you know what else I'm going to do as well? I might just cut a little V shape in it, I think. Or I might even, that's what I'm going to do, just cut a little triangle off. Which way round will it need to go? Will that work? Do you reckon, like that? Let's have a look. What do we think? I think that'll work. Let's do that. See how much I've got poking out. Trick is to get it looking even so it looks like it's running all the way across. Yep, that'll work. And then I'm going to weave my ribbon across and back and across like that. So again, I'm going to use a little bit of tape on the back and then my ribbon will stick in place. Just clear up as I go along where I can see I'm going to get a bit stuck otherwise. It also means if you use this technique that you can move your ribbon if it's not where you want it to be. Yeah, I think I want mine to go the other way actually. You can just unpeel it and re-stick it, look, which is really clever. And you won't have actually done any damage, so I'm going to go that way instead. That's better. I can trim off the ends in a minute. So then I think I'm going to raise my sentiment. So I'm going to get some 3D foam. I like using these foam strips when I've got quite a big area. So I'm going to use a strip across the back here. Also helps to hold the ribbon in place again. Can go the full length of my glittery card as well. Peel the backing off of these. If you do lots of crafting where you need little tiny 3D dimensionals, this foam strip is really good as well because you can cut it to whatever size, obviously, you want it to be. There we go. And then I'm going to trim the ribbon at an angle. And let's find a sentiment to add. And then I can finally attach my dove last of all. Do you know what? Let's have a reasonably big, let's have a big sentiment in the middle. So these sentiments, what have I done with the pack? Have you got the pack of sentiments, Evelyn? The back short. I was going to tell people what they're called because these are amazing. If you weren't at any of my Christmas workshops and you've not seen these before, these are fabulous. They're called Greetings for You Mix and Match Ephemera Pack, and they are cardboard pre-done and pre-die cut greetings, all Christmassy ones obviously, but on the back of the cardboard they've got peel off adhesive so that you can either leave the adhesive on and add 3D pads and raise them up, or like I'm doing, you can peel the adhesive off and you can then stick them flat down onto like another layer or whatever, like I'm going to do. And they're just brilliant. I think they've absolutely made my Christmas crafting this year. They've made it so simple to do. And then I'm going to add my little dove there, I think. So yeah, if you want some quick and easy sentiments, honestly, these are amazing. They've made the world of difference. And that dove is going to need a little bit of 3D behind his head, isn't he? Because otherwise I'm going to leave a little mini dimensional behind his top of his neck actually. Otherwise I think he's going to go a bit floppy when he's overlapping. There we go. There we go. Dare I say it, this might be a Christmas card that doesn't even need any more bling on it. There we go. What do we think? Shall we add a little? Oh, let's add a couple of bits, shall we? Why not? It's Christmas. If I can find the bling, let's add the bling. Right, is the bling in here? I think there are some little kind of like diamante type shape things. Oh, can I find them? Can I find them? No. I wonder what I did with them. I wonder if they're stuck in my paper. Have a little look in my leftover papers and see if they're in here. We've got them in here anywhere. No, doesn't look like it. I saw them earlier on as well. Isn't it always the way? When you're looking for something, you can't find it. Never mind, I will find them later and add some bling later if I feel it still needs it. Fabulous, there we go. So there you go, that's our first card. I think we were saying earlier on, like I said, I think this card is called the window pane card because you get the 4 sections of the window pane. So this is the one that I made earlier. And then this is the one that I've just made, just showing you that you can use any patterned paper and it will come out looking equally beautiful. So there we go. So people who are crafting along, how are you getting on? Give me some thumbs up if you're with me. Evelyn, what have you done? Let's have a look at yours as well. Should we put yours in too? Oh, there we go. Beautiful, look. So Evelyn's used same papers as my first one, but different background card and different patterns. It looks gorgeous, doesn't it? How lovely. Nice. Like that. Let's have a quick slurp of water. Okay, so that's card number 1. Just put that one to one side. Card number 2 is the Dutch door. Now we've done Dutch doors many times. In COVID, those of you who've been crafting with me since COVID or before maybe even, you may remember that we had a whole series of Dutch door cards where we chopped bits off and we stuck extra bits on and all kinds of things left, right and centre. And I really felt it was time we went back to a Dutch door. You can't beat a Dutch door. They look lovely when they're standing up. And they're just really pretty and great way to showcase several pieces of patterned paper. So for this card, you're going to need a piece for the inside, which can be reasonably busy, a contrast piece for the front. So my suggestion would be, if you're going busy inside, have slightly less busy for the front panel. If you're going busy on the front panel, less busy on the inside. You need that contrast, I think, between them. You're going to need a little bit of, a greeting and a little focal point for the front as well. Some extra bling. Got 5 little bits of sparkle here. And you're also going to need a little white strip to go on the inside as well so that you can write on. Okay. So first things first, let's grab our second card base. And just the same as before, you're going to fold it where it's already creased. And get your bone folder and crease that hinge. And then this time you're going to need to put it back into the trimmer. And you're going to put it in with the short side at the top. I'm going to show you what it's going to look like. That is what you're aiming to cut off, okay? So you want to go half the width of this and you're only going to cut down as far as your hinge. So it started out as 10.5, so you're going for roughly 5.25, roughly. Okay. And you're going to cut down, just cut down to that score line. And then you want to cut off this top piece. So you can either put it back in the trimmer and cut off, or if you feel that that's a bit too risky for you, then you can obviously cut it with scissors. But so that you're then left with a piece with your Dutch door is on the bottom of the front. And you've then got that extra strip that you can make a matching tag with as well. Always useful at this time of year, obviously. So that's our Dutch door base. And now you're going to need some patterned papers to go for the inside layer and for the front as well. So again, I'm going to go back and see what I've got in my kit that I can rummage around and find. We might have some doves on the inside, and maybe we'll have, I'll have that one on the outside, I think. So your inside layer is first layer size, so same as always, 9.9 by 14.3, really simple. 9.9 by 14.3. Now you also might find that that some of your patterned papers, you literally just use one side for one pattern and the opposite side as the contrast, maybe. That's okay. That's going to go in there. And then your little strip for the front measures 14.3 by 4.5. So 4.5 by 14.3. And that's going to be for your front piece.
4.5.
4.5 by 14.3. Oh, and while you've got the trimmer out, actually, don't put it away. Don't forget you're also going to need the same size piece of white paper for the inside to write on as well. So 14.3 by 4.5. Okay?
Of white.
Of white, so that you've got that's for your inside piece to write on. And then you can just stick those down straight away. Really simple. So once we finish tonight, I would love to see what you're making. I would love to see everyone's variations on papers and on your top layers. Ooh, I think I've just run out of tape. That's good. So do feel free to post photos of what you made. That would be lovely. Let's chop off a refill in. If you've got these stamping seals, don't forget they are refillable. You do not need to buy a brand new one when it runs out of tape. You just buy a tape refill at reduced cost. Pop it over the wheels over the posts. Join it together and off you go again. Really, really great because they're so simple to refill. So this piece is going on the inside. Up against your hinge there. And then you've finally got that white layer for writing your message on. So you need to add that on the inside as well. And I've even used, as you can see, a scrap of white, so it's not even a perfect match for size, but as I'm going to write on it, I don't think it really matters. And it's going on the inside, so it really doesn't matter. And then I'm ready to decorate already. Really quick and simple, these cards. So what have I got for decorating this time? Let's have a look. I've got some more. What have I got here? Oh, I've got another. I have got another greeting, but I've also got some more doves. Oh, I might just have a couple of doves on the front of this one and a greeting maybe, actually. Perhaps a bit more sparkle behind my greeting, maybe. Perhaps have to be silver sparkle perhaps this time, I think. What have I got left over? Maybe that one will be good. Still can't find the bling, mind. It's here somewhere, I know it is. I will find it eventually. With some little, it was little flowers, I think, from this this paper. I just can't remember where I've put it. Never mind. Never mind. That sort of thing happens all the time in this house, I have to tell you. All the time. Yeah, I'm thinking my little doves might go like that. And then I might have a strip of that behind. Just going to cut off that odd bit, I think. And a sentiment, I think. Not wasting any odd bits at all. And try and cut this so it's really, there we go. Really don't waste it. Now, here's a top tip for you. I can see that in my track, in my cutting track, I've got some random stray bits of paper. So rather than getting my scissors and trying to poke my scissors in there, instead I've got a paintbrush. This is one of the kids' really ancient paintbrushes. The reason I keep it is because it's got really nice stiff bristles and it's fantastic for getting in the track and cleaning the track out. And I clean the track out on my trimmer quite often because that means I don't have to replace the blades as often. So on our trimmer, all the blades, the scoring and the cutting blades are replaceable. But actually, the cleaner you keep your track, the better your blades cut and the less frequently you need to change them. So, as I could just see a few little bits in there, that's a good opportunity to clean that. Fantastic, right. So I'm going to have that going kind of behind there, maybe, don't know, something like that, and then I need to find a sentiment. The other joy with these sentiments is that because they've got peel off stuff on the back, you can lay them on and see which one you're kind of happiest with, what you think would work for your particular card that you're making, without having to kind of go to the faff of like stamping out a sentiment first and then realising it doesn't go, or, you know, sticking it down and then thinking, oh no, it's in the wrong place. I mean, you can just literally fiddle about with them, decide which one you prefer, and then choose it. And what I also like about them as well is that there are multiples for each of the greetings. Not only multiples in that you'll have an identical sentiment, you've got the same sentiment but in different script, different kind of size label. It's brilliant. So this one I'm actually going to mount on 3D pads, so I'm not going to peel the backing off of this one, but I'm going to stick these bits down first and then I will add the 3D pad. So let's go with, stick this down the middle first. Then I'm going to add my sentiment in the centre. Okay, where where's my 3D pads? Where are my dimensionals gone? I know they're here somewhere. There they are. Just whack some dimensionals on the back. So I'm not peeling off the backing, just going straight over the top of the backing. Stick my sentiment where I want it in the middle. And then I'm going to add my doves. Shall I add my doves flat, or shall I add my... No, I think we'll have some 3D on the back of the doves as well. I love these doves because they're not only die cut, but their feathers are die cut as well. So you can really kind of go to town with the kind of curling up the edges of the feathers and things. They look really cool. Add a bit more movement in them. So they almost look like they're taking flight a bit, really. There we go. And there is my second card. The Dutch door. Along with my flower version. Oops. I think I might have to find some bling to go on that one. So I'm going to use... What have I got here? It's bound to be something. Oh, look, I've got some stars. This time of year, this is the other thing that I would give you as a top tip as well. This time of year, delve into your stash of bling and just get out everything that needs using up. That, you know, I mean, these were probably left over. In fact, I know what these were from. These were from my Halloween boxes kit. And they always give you too many stars. Well, now's the time to get them out and use them. Because as we know, it's Christmas. More is more. So get all your bling out and your ribbon and everything and decorate up, whether it's your cards, whether it's your tags, or even just your presents. If you're just, you know, decorating the fronts of presents and things, now's the time to use all your bling that you've acquired over the year, so that next year you can then kind of start from scratch with it. Kind of, I always feel it gives you permission to be able to refresh your stash with new and exciting embellishments. Because when I buy new paper, I always want like the matching embellishments or ribbon or whatever to go with it, and I always feel a bit like I really shouldn't unless I've used up what I've already got. So now's the time to use it up so that you can feel less guilty in the new year. Okay, Evelyn, let's have yours. So again, this is Evelyn's Dutch door, very similar to mine in the style, but completely different papers and looks really different. And lovely that the sentiment's on the side. I think you need some bling on yours. You've got no bling on it. Needs some sparkle, I reckon. Add some sparkle on yours. I'm guessing, but I think that's what it needs. I think that's what it's missing, is a bit of sparkle. Okie dokie. So how are people getting on with the Dutch door? How are we doing? And those of you who are watching, are you thinking, yeah, this is something I could do easily? These are easily reproducible, these different designs. I think this could work for me. There we go. she's added a bit of bling, look. Oh, nice, three different colours. I like that. I like it a lot. Yeah, got some thumbs up, fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous. Wonderful, okay, so we've done our window pane card and we've done the Dutch door. The next one that we're going to do is going to be this clever one with the accordion or concertina in the middle. So the most important thing that you are going to need for this card is going to be a piece of paper, patterned paper, that is either non-directional in the pattern or where the pattern is horizontal, like this, because you're going to need a large piece. So I'll give you the exact measurements in a moment, but the most important thing is that the pattern is horizontal or, like mine is, non-directional, okay? That's the most important thing. And then you also need another piece for the front of the card. So you also need to find a nice, I think you need quite a strong pattern for the front of this card. So I'm going to go with that one for the front. And obviously you're going to need your card base. We'll get to the kind of decoration in a moment, but the only other thing you're going to need is a piece of white card. And your piece of white card for writing your greeting on inside, your message, is going to measure 6 centimetres by 7.5 centimetres. So you really only need the tiniest little scrap. Okay?
What was the size for the white?
6 by 7.5 centimetres. Okay. So you've got your card base, your little scrap of white that is 6 by 7.5. You need a front layer which measures, oh, I had thought I might do an embossed front layer for this one actually. Now I come to remember. I might. Let's get my embossed front layer out. I might do an embossed front layer instead. On this one, possibly. Can't decide. I'll see. I'll tell you what, I'm going to cut the right size for my embossed front layer, and I'm going to cut the right size for my other layer as well. So your front layer needs to be 9.9 centimetres. So it's a standard top layer, first layer. 9.9 by 14.3. .9 by 14.3. I might just chop a bit more off of that so it gives it a bit more even around the pattern. So I'm going to do that one. I'm going to do this one the same, 9.9 by 14.3. Again, if you've got a directional pattern, make sure your pattern is going the right way. We'll choose when I come to actually stick the front on, and we'll see what we like then, okay? Now, this is the important bit, okay? So you need to cut your piece of your inside piece that's going to make the concertina. It needs to be the full length of the 12 inches, but you're going to cut the width down to fit inside the card, okay? So this piece is 6 inches by 12 inches, and what you need is the full length of the 12 inches, but you don't need it quite 6 inches wide, okay? So I'm going to cut it down. Now, because this is going inside my standard half of sheet of A4, I'm going to cut it down in centimetres. So I'm going to cut it down to 9.9 centimetres. Now I'm sure this is where people are going to start screaming at me that, you know, you can't mix up centimetres and inches. Well, too bad. That's all I can say. Too bad. Okay. So we've got all of those pieces sorted. So you've got your, I'll go over those again. You've got your card base. There we go. You've got your front layer, which is a standard front layer. So it's 14.3 by 9.9, making sure that you've got a horizontal pattern as well. And then you've got a piece of white card for the inside, which is 6 centimetres by 7.5. And you've got a strip of your patterned paper, which is 9.9 centimetres, but it's the full width of the 12 by 12 inch paper, okay? And that's all the bits that you need. So what we'll do is we will, first of all, score this big piece. So get your cutting blade out of the way. In fact, get the other bits out of the way as well for the time being. Because what you're also going to need is you're going to need your side arm out for this. Because you're going to need to measure and score all the way across the patterned paper. Okay? So you're going to measure at 1 inch and score at 1 inch intervals, starting at 3 inches and finishing at 9 inches. So you're going to score at 3 inches, 4 inches, at 5 inches, 6 inches, 7 inches, 8 inches, and 9 inches. So your first score is at 3 inches and your last score is at 9 inches. Okay? And then you can get rid of your trimmer out of the way and you can concentrate on all the other elements of the card. So you can bring all those bits back in. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 inches is where you want to score. The fold is really simple because it's a concertina, but that's where you want to score to start with. So let's begin. Let's fold the card base in half and score it and crease it. And then you've got to decide what your card front is going to look like. So we could have the patterned paper, or we could have the embossed piece. Oh, I still don't know. Could have the embossed piece with the patterned paper in the middle, maybe. Oh, I'm going to go with the embossed piece. I just like it. Let's do that. So, whatever you've chosen, stick that down. Moving on to the glue now because I've got an embossed piece, so I want it to stick really well. So that goes flat down on the front. I might die cut out a piece of pattern paper to go in the middle in a minute. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. Then you can move on to your inside concertina layer, okay? So, what you need to do is the first and the last score lines, or the first and the last score lines, you're folding in. And then make sure that you line up the edges and crease it. So the first and the last, fold in and crease. And it will actually join in the middle. And then in between, you're just going to concertina. So that piece goes back on itself. And each time you're making sure that you're lining up those edges so that the edges are really sharp and really they match, they line up really well. You do not want this concertina twisting, otherwise when you come to put it in your card, it won't actually fit inside the card, and you really need it to fit inside, obviously. So you should then have a piece that looks like that. Right, there we go. So you've just got your concertina piece and your little white bit left over. Okay. So I'm going to pause there. For those of you who are crafting with me, when you get to this point and you've got your concertina piece and your front stuck on, then just give me some thumbs up, because I'll show you how to get your concertina inside your card without it twisting, and so that your card can open fully and it can also close fully without getting squashed, so that it will fit in the post or whatever you want to do with it. That's the other thing I should say as well, because these are all half a sheet of A4 folded in half cards, every single one of these cards, no matter how fancy they are, goes in a standard envelope, which is really handy for the post, as the post is so blooming expensive at the moment. Okay, cool. So I had loads of emojis there. So what you want to do is fold your concertina piece up so that it looks like this. So you've got all the concertina folded neatly into the centre, and keep hold of it. Very important. Okay, open up your card. And what you're going to do is you're going to stick glue all over there and stick it down, but holding it shut. You're not going to keep it, you're not going to open it up. You're going to keep it shut the whole time, okay? So whatever kind of adhesive you need to use to make it easy to do that, do that. So keep it shut. Stick that to the front cover, okay? And then put adhesive on that back page. And then close the card shut. And just hold it in place for a couple of seconds while that glue just takes. And that will ensure that you get your concertina in the right place. And it also ensures that when you open the card, well, you can see when you close the card, it closes perfectly flat. But it also means when you open the card, that the card will open fully, like that. Isn't that clever? And then the only thing you have left to do is to add your white layer and then continue with any decoration that you wanted to put on the front as well. So I'm just going to put my white panel on the inside for writing on when I come to write this card. Smack in the middle of the back panel, right hand side of the card inside. When you close the card, make sure that you just do kind of pull the concertina together so that it doesn't kind of twist or anything. So when it's closed, it should, your concertina should look like that. Okay. And then you can decorate the front however you want to. So let's see what we've got. I feel like this probably needs quite a big sentiment on the front here. I might even need to stamp something. What shall we put on the inside? On the outside rather. Oh, I wonder if we'll have a peace on earth. That would be nice. Let's have that one, and then we can have lots of bling. Evelyn, could oh no, I have got some here actually. I think I got some ink out. So this is from the Peace on Earth suite. This stamp set. Yeah, here it is. And I'm using the Secret Sea ink. Just going to line it up. There we are. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And then I'm going to add lots of bling. Right, what have I got in here that I can use? A few bits of white, don't need those. Let's have a look. Well, I've got some of last year's snowflakes, which I could put on here. Look, we could have some little snow. Oh, let's have some snowflakes. Oh my goodness, I've forgotten I even had these. Let's do that. Where's my take a pic tool? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add some snowflakes here, there and everywhere. Lots of snowflakes. Pretty, pretty, pretty. You might not be able to see it, so I will hold it up when I'm done. Going completely against my rule to start with. I'm starting with 6, not an odd number as well. So I want a little bit of symmetry on this card. Top to bottom, so. Let's see. Symmetry there to start with. What do you think about that? I like that. Kind of like the, I like the stylish symmetry of that actually. I really do. I've got a couple of broken snowflakes, so we'll get rid of those. Let's put the rest back in here. I like that. Simple, chic, beautiful. Not often you say that about my cards, that they're chic, but I quite like that. So that's the outside, and then wow, in the middle. Very pretty. Very pretty. Oh, the snowflakes moved. Let's budge him back. There we go. Don't think he was quite dry. Oh, I'm really pleased with that. I like that one. So that was my original card, Season's Greetings, with my little bouquets inside, and this is my new one, Peace on Earth, with beautiful patterned papers inside and some snowflakes aptly on the front. Cool. Evelyn's doing sentiment for hers. So we'll hold on a bit. How is everybody else getting on? How are we doing out there in Craftland? What do you want?
Old olive ink.
Old olive, yeah. Let me just grab her some ink a minute. Everybody must be very busy with their heads down because it's very quiet out there. Oh, my nail's just come off. The one that's been, it's been threatening all night and it's just come off. That was annoying, isn't it? So now I've got a scaggy nail. Let's see if I can trim it off a minute. Haven't had broken nails in such a long time, or scaggy nails even. Typical it should be tonight. Right, there we go, that's got rid of it. Fabulous. Okay, well we've got one card left to do after this one. And this one, you might think, oh my goodness, this is going to be so technical and so difficult. And it is so not, it's so easy. Flat card goes in a standard envelope, no problem at all. Even flat enough that it can go in the post without additional postage. And yet, when it's stood up, it looks amazing, beautiful, really clever, a standout image on the front, just super clever, really lovely. So once everybody's ready, that's the one that we will do last of all, and that will be our last one for tonight. But let's just finish up. If you're ready to move on from the concertina card, do let me know, give me some thumbs up if you're crafting. Evelyn's just finishing hers, so I'll just show you hers when she's finished, because she's put a lovely sentiment on the front of hers and it looks amazing actually. Love that, love that. So we've moved on, she's moved on to the pine boughs Christmas paper. We've got that on the front and that beautiful paper on the inside.
Where do I put my white?
Lovely, there, on that,
Yeah.
Just where you write. Really pretty. Really pretty. Fabulous. We've got some thumbs up. Amazing. Right, let me clear the decks. So you are going to need, for this final card, you are going to need your final piece of your final card base that's already pre-scored. You're also going to need your trimmer, because you have got a bit more scoring to do to create the box on this one. And you're also going to need your patterned papers, and you're going to need a pattern that you can cut 3 panels out of. So it can be whatever paper you want, but you're going to need 3 panels out of it. So I would suggest that you try and choose a piece that you can get all 3 panels out of the same pattern. So I'm going to go with this one because it's different to anything else I've used tonight. Your 3 pieces of patterned paper each will measure 4.5 centimetres by 9.9. So you don't need very much, you just need pattern pieces that you can use. So let's cut the patterned paper first. So if you're doing a vertical pattern like me, 9.9 by 4.5, you want 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. You also need 2 pieces of white paper, white card, so 2 white layers that also measure 4.5 by 9.9 as well. So you've also got two white layers, one that you're going to put a stamp sentiment on, and the other white layer that you're going to use for writing on. And then the only other thing that you need is you need something as a central piece that will be on the front of your box part of your image. So I've used circles, but actually this next time I've still got a label. So I think I will probably put a label on this time, that way round actually, and maybe add some of my remaining doves. So it doesn't have to be a circle. A circle is easy, but it doesn't have to be. You can have doves, or you can have an image if you want. It doesn't have to be. Same as what I've put on there. Okay. actually, it'll be one dove probably. Maybe, I'm not sure actually, maybe it will be a circle. We'll see, we'll wait till we get there. Okay, so that's the first thing you need. So you need your base piece of card. You need 3 pieces of patterned paper, which measure 4.5 centimetres by 9.9 centimetres. And then you need 2 pieces of white card that also measure 4.5 centimetres by 9.9. Okay. So pop all your patterned and white pieces to one side, because like I said, what you need to do is a little bit of extra scoring on your main card base before you can get started. Now, I'm just going to explain the scoring first. All your score measurements are going outwards on either side from this central score line. So you're going to score 5 centimetres to the left of the score line and then 10 centimetres, and then 5 centimetres to the right of the score line and 10 centimetres. But of course what you can do is you can flip your card around. Okay, so I am going to put the score line up against 5 centimetres on my scoreboard. And you'll know that you've got it in the right place because the score lines also come out the bottom of your scoreboard. So if you look at your 5 centimetre score line, it actually goes all the way down just to the right of your 2 inches. So as long as your score line is just to the right of your 2 inches, then you know that you're scoring at 5 centimetres. And I'm going to do the same again at that central score line is at 10 centimetres. This score line is at 5 centimetres again. And score again. And then turn it around and do the same again. So using your central line as your marker, you're going to go 5 centimetres and 10 centimetres. And then what you should have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal panels, basically. 6 equal panels, that's what you end up with. Okay. And then the best thing to do is to lay your patterned papers down next, so that you can see where they're going to go. So your patterned papers are going to go like so. Like that. So you've got an empty panel on the far left. You could add another piece of pattern paper if you wanted. Then you've got a pattern, a white, a pattern, a pattern, a white. Okay. And if you're going to do stamping on your white layer, then you might want to stamp first before you stick it down. But other than that, you can start then gluing all of your panels of patterned paper in place. This middle piece of white is for you to write your message on, your greeting on. Each panel, you've got a little bit of a border around the outside for neatness. As always.
Which panel do you stamp on?
You stamp on the far right panel if you're going to put a greeting on. Or you can stick a greeting if you've already got you know, a pre-done greeting, which is what I might do. let's get a greeting and stick on there. Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Change my mind again. I'm going to use not the Peace on Earth. Have you got the stamp cleaner out somewhere?
No.
Okay. I'll just clean that stamp in a minute. Clean that one up. I think I'm going to use that Big Hugs for a Good Friend instead. So that goes nicely down the length of that panel, I think. That'll look good. There we go. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so once you've got your panels of pattern paper all stuck down, and if you need to do some stamping, you've got your stamping all stuck down, then what you're going to do is you're going to fold and crease your card in the middle to begin with, just like you're making a standard card front. What have I done with lost my bone folder now. Normally I'm quite a tidy crafter, but honestly, if you could see the mess here tonight, it is an absolute bomb site. I don't know where my bone folder has disappeared to. Ah, thanks, Evelyn's going to lend me hers instead. So yeah, so just fold and crease the card just as if you are making just an ordinary card base to start with. And then what you want to do is to fold in those next two along as well from the centre. And then finally, so you've got your first three are all creased inwards, and then the outside two are creased the opposite way. So they're going back on themselves. Okay, so the outside two are going back on themselves. Thanks. So you've then got something that looks kind of like that. Okay, and what you want to do is obviously join these two outside ones together, and that will give you your box shape. So I am going to put some tape on here, and then again, a word of warning about how you stick this together. So don't stick it down just yet. Okay, so peel off your tape or what glue or whatever you've got. And then you don't stick it down until you've got it, lie it down flat again and go from the centre and push the card out. Because if you try and join those two ends together without smoothing it from the central fold, what you'll find is that the card will not lie flat, and we want it to go in an envelope, of course. So that is how you get it to lie flat. Okay? So just fold it like you're folding a standard card, but just push it along. And that's how you get it to lie flat. All right? And then the only additional bit is your circular shape on the front here, or whatever image you're going to put on the front. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut out your circle or whatever, and then if you look behind, all I've done is I've got 2 strips of card that are about 1 centimetre each, about 1 centimetre by 2 centimetres. I'm just going to stick that on the back of those circular pieces in order to create that moving and stand out image on the front. Really, really simple. Really simple. So easy to do. What am I going to put on the front of mine? I'm going to punch out a circle from this one, I think. My doves. And I'm going to punch out a bit of card to go behind it. That piece of dark card, so it just strengthens it, I think. I'm not going to have a layered circle. I'm going to use that spare bit of card instead. Is it wide enough? Not quite. But it will do. And I'm going to use it as well for my layers, my little, those little hinges, if you like, on the back. So I'm just going to do this to give it a bit of strength, that's all. And then you can freehand cut these. You just need them roughly 1 centimetre by 2 centimetres, roughly. Fold them in half. So you've got a crease. And then the best thing to do really is to put one of the hinges on, because you want it right up next to the crease on your card. So stick one of the hinges on one side there, and do the same with the other one on the opposite side of the spine, so that they're butt up next to each other. And then put a bit of glue across that middle bit, and then that is where your circle is going to go, right over the top. And that is how your circle floats on the front of your card. Easy peasy, easy peasy. So there's my 2 box cards. Again, this one's going to need a little bit of bling on it. I shall find some bling to go on. I've got some blue. Got some blue sparklies. I'm going to stick some blue sparklies on this one. Left over from my Christmas workshop. I would stick it on if it took the... There we go. Oh, no, it hasn't took the glue dot with it. That's annoying, isn't it? Let's peel the glue dot off then. Put the glue dot on. That's better. There we go. There are my 2 box cards. Evelyn, you got a box card as well? I think you have, haven't you?
Didn't really.
No, did you?
Well,
what did you get to?
I didn't have the right colours to be able to stamp anything.
Ah, okay, so we're halfway through a box card. Pretty! It'll be lovely when you've finished it though. It will work. So that'll be fantastic. So we've got, there we go, 3 pretty box cards. Cool, okay, let me just turn the camera around again. Where are we? Oh, Evelyn's disappeared because she started putting things away. There we go. Hello, hello. Cool. Okay, so loads of cards made tonight. 4 different designs. I hope you've enjoyed making those. And as I said, I'd really love to see what you've been making at home. And the different takes on using different papers and different images and things. So when I finish this, I will put a post on the Facebook group so that you can add yours into the comments, what you've made. That would be lovely. One final thing from me as well. If you've not yet seen the 30-day Christmas card making challenge, and you're stuck for ideas for what to make for your Christmas cards, every day during November, courtesy of lovely Martin at Martin's Mayhem, we are making Christmas cards with a pre-designed theme or a colour theme or a layout or whatever it might be. So if you're stuck for card ideas, all 30 of my designs, that's one for every day, are being posted onto the Facebook group. So if you need ideas for Christmas cards, using this year's products and using previous year's products, then do check back and see the different ideas, because like I say, there are 30 completely different unique card ideas on there for you, as well as the ones we've done tonight. And you can also still take part in the challenge if you want to as well, because you can add your cards in the comments under the photo of my challenge card for that day, at any time you want to, even if you get all the way to Christmas and then you decide you want to post some of the cards that you've made. If they fit the challenge theme, then please add them. It gives everybody different ideas. So Mum and I are trying to do every single day of the challenge, but you don't have to. You can do one day, or you can do every day, or any amount in between, whatever works for you. Okay, so yeah, if you want to add some cards to the challenge, then please do. Okay. That's all I've got to say for tonight, I think. My voice is starting to croak a little bit again. You'll be getting an email about the party tomorrow. Don't forget, Black Friday starts on Monday, obviously, and lasts for a week or until we sell out. So, yeah, do take advantage of that. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.